Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, it is early in the morning, but I'm gonna do this video. My voice is low, but yeah, by request, Gary Frank. I've had a lot of people ask for Gary Frank, and this was one of the first recommendations or suggestions brought up on Twitter last night. I shot out a note for an idea, and I think this is great. I love Batman. Gary Frank, I've been a fan of for pretty much my whole time collecting comics, and this is gonna be cool. I haven't seen it. So Earth One, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. Let's do this. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be super fun. All right. So the cover is very, very kick-ass. I like how he lit Batman's head here. The lighting is nice, and he didn't feel the need to bring the shadow way over. He could have though and framed the umbrella a bit more, but it looks really good. This is nice. He's got some really really good detail. This looks traditional. Sometimes on the inside, the reproductions look a little pixelated. I wasn't 100% sure if it's just the scan and the way that it was sort of processed, because they color over bitmaps. So this is great. This is really really cool. I love how he does the cape. It's like the material he's suggesting really works well for me, and I like it. I like it a lot. Great figure. His anatomy is awesome. It's like really, really good. This is going to be inspiring. I'm excited. Yeah, so my introduction into Gary Frank is kind of funny, but I think people will appreciate this. So I started collecting comics in the 90s during the Image boom, but I definitely bought a lot of Marvel books, and I collected the Hulk, Amazing Spider-Man, and a bunch of different stuff. So the penciler that I was following on Incredible Hulk was leaving, and a penciler was coming on named Gary Frank, and so I picked up the book. I went home, and what I would do is when I would buy books on Wednesday, I would read them all that like day. So I probably got home from the comic book store at like noon. I'd get in this like bean bag on my floor, and then just go into the world of like the comic books. And I read this Hulk issue that Gary drew, and it was so good, and I was so excited by his work. I was like, this guy is gonna be huge. Like, but back then you couldn't. I mean, you didn't know. Like, I was the first I had heard of him, so I didn't know if he had done comics before or what it was. And I literally got in my car and drove back down to the comic book store and bought an extra copy, like as a like investment issue. So it's kind of funny, but yeah. Um, I was blown away, and it was so good. It's the only time I've ever done that, and I drove back to the store and I bought a second copy. So if Gary, if you ever hear this, you won me over immediately with your awesome art. Really really cool. The colors are very nice on this. Actually, I like it. It's not overdone. It looks good. Again, his cape is great. Oh man, that's nice too. You know what? I've seen this comic. I remember the shot. So I have a Comixology account through DC, and yeah, I had seen this. Oh, but well, it doesn't really matter. I can point it out later. But you can see the work is very pixelated. Like this is probably traditional. The way he's scanning it though, or the way that it's getting formatted for color, they could actually do this a little tiny bit nicer. Um, and trust me, I know because I've been on the end of print jobs like this, and yeah, it's a little pixely, but you can see this is the difference between traditional and digital inks is you get a little bit of this organic quality. Like you see the panel borders, like they're a little more sketchy. It's just his pen and the paper are leaving little gaps, and people who do a lot of digital inks don't realize that there's an organic quality to the work across the board, and it adds up, and it actually adds a level of complexity and sort of attractive detail that you lack with digital, which is why digital can look anemic. um, so you get the good with the bad. But do you see how wavery this line is? I'd be curious how it printed in the comic, but that's not traditional. That's the bitmap file. Yeah, this is really wild. um, anyway, I won't keep focusing on that, but as someone who takes a lot of pride in their line work, I'd be talking to someone. Dude, this is so great, man. It's the perfect level of detail for a comic book. Like if you're a penciler, take note of this because this is really, really important. People only spend a short amount of time on the pages, and I know that people want to blow away their peers, and a lot of times the way that we try to do that is with like overdrawing things, but generally speaking, this stuff reads clearer, it reads faster, it moves you through the story more effectively, and it looks really good. And you're not wasting time on things that don't matter. This is just my opinion on this, but if you really want to tell stories and you want to do comic books, and you don't want to be someone that can only draw 2 or 3 books a year, then you need to decide where you're gonna really put the detail. It's interesting because he does something with Batman that a lot of people don't, which is he's not afraid to like show the whole character. Um, I've had friends and whatnot who their opinion on Batman is that like you kind of should almost never fully see him. That's great, man. It's very looks like a Finch piece. But yeah, like Gary isn't afraid to actually just kind of show him completely exposed, like this. You know, he is going in a shadow, but some people handle it more like this. You're going to see more of that. And also, Eyes in the Cowl is interesting. These are all decisions that you have to make, though, when you draw a character. It's why, to me, Batman is personally, I think, one of the more challenging characters to come to conclusions on because of that. Because there's so many different ways to handle him. We'll see. I didn't notice the credits on this book. In terms of like, I'm not 100% sure if he inks himself. So my apologies if there is actually an inker on this book. I didn't see it. That's nice. His stuff is so solid. I mean, you can really like his structure for heads and stuff like that is just spot on. And that's just like a classic kind of Gary Frank woman. That's nice. I inked a trading card of Gary Frank's one time. That's the closest I've came. Is it was like I think it was Zealot and maybe Voodoo like fighting on a beach, or it was some sort of Coda trading card. I think that's it. One and done. I don't even know if he ever saw the piece, honestly. It's cool. We can always revisit Gary Frank and then go through other work too. I was super tempted to do the Hulk book today with this, but we'll just focus on this Batman, and that's nice, really nice. And we can come back and do some different stuff from him, like where we do like maybe like 4 or 5 different titles. This is nice. Kind of hustling because it's like the Batman pages. But this, this is again, I don't know how much I say it on YouTube, but like when you draw a Batman book, get ready because you're going to be doing a lot of this kind of stuff. It's not all Batman. I personally wish that it was more leaned towards that, but I mean, you just get pages and pages of stuff like this. I was joking yesterday at Free Comic Book Day. I said I got tricked because my first exposure to comics was like the Image stuff where it was just all action and characters, double page spreads, and so when comics slowly started to switch to stuff like this, there was a big disconnect for me because I would prefer to just draw exciting looking stuff. And look, the people that are storytellers, I totally respect that, but it just wasn't. 100% what got me interested in comics. So that's why writing my own stuff is so important, because then I can divide the content the way I want it. This is beautiful. This is such a nice shot. Really, really good. This is great. Oh man. It's nice. There's two sides to everything, Bruce. He's so consistent. It's crazy, man. His black and white work, he's definitely worth looking up online and seeing this stuff in black and white, and then also just any works in progress and stuff like that. It's really, really cool to see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And if you're a penciler, one thing I would recommend too is, I mean, for the people that are interested in like art education, is count how many heads that he draws and how many hands, because the lion's share of comic book. I mean, there's like, I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 heads just on this one page. If you're not knocking out 8 heads a day and multiple pairs of hands, it's gonna benefit you to be good at that stuff. So do it. And then again, how many characters do you see that are anatomy versus actually dressed? Because that's a big thing too. Is a lot of times when people are learning, they're like, I need to learn anatomy, and it's gonna be like, I need to draw arms better, but you're gonna notice in a book like this, a real Batman book, you better know how to draw a suit jacket, and you better know how to draw t-shirts and sweat jackets and stuff like that, because a lot of it is that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a nice face. He always goes to a party and then has to be Batman. We have that in our Batman book too. It looks a little like Tom Selleck there. Or that guy looks like Tom Selleck, I should say. Not in the shot. This is nice. Again, very exposed Batman. Do you notice there's not, I mean, he spots a little bit of black on the glove, but he's not constantly in shadow. And check some of your other Batman books and see how other artists handle that. Because Gary, because he's so solid with figure drawing and faces and everything is so consistent, he's able to do this and actually really show you the action completely exposed. These are such solid drawings. Nice. Okay, we'll do one more and then I should get going because I got to work today. See that? I mean, it even shows the whole figure. That's crazy. Most pencilers would not draw it like this, with the full on from head to toe, so exposed on a splash page. You normally get a crop, something probably like this, you know, but tighter, and these guys would be squeezed in. But man, he's like, oh, I'm gonna draw it all. That's nice. Again, full figure. This is great too. Man, it's so solid. nice. The buildings look really good. Simple, but like I don't feel like I'm looking at like someone that took like Clip Studio Paint and just threw like weird perspective grids and I mean, these are almost flat views. This like these in particular, it's like yeah, these are all flat views. It's not probably accurate to real perspective, but it looks better. So that's the rub. Is sometimes real perspective will work against you in an artistic way. You got to trust your eye. Man, this is a lot of work. A lot of work in this. If he's doing this monthly, he's grinding. He may be quite fast. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a lot to draw. Oh man. Finch was always really good with these sequences, honestly. We did a scene in a restaurant. I thought he handled it really, really well. And we, of course, had the obligatory, like, billionaire party, fundraiser. Really, really solid. He makes it look so easy. And that is the sign of a good artist, is you go, yeah, that totally makes sense. It's like, yep, that's how it would look. And then you try to draw it, and you're like, oh my God, like, this is way more tricky than I would have thought. Again, he just does not shy away from these full figures. It's experience and skill. This is good. Very exciting silhouette on this arm. Do you see this? The variety of shape. It's really nice. That's really good too. This is excellent. This is really good. And yep, really, really nice. Oh yeah. That's nice too, man. Great panel. This is a really, really nice pose. You know who could do a really interesting job on him is Klaus Janson, and Gary Frank would be a very, very interesting combo. Would pull it a little bit away from this, but they could do a pretty interesting blend. Oh man, that's crazy. Pages like this, you want them to look nice, but you just want to get them done. I would never ever overwork talking head pages with people in normal street clothes. My own opinion on it. I know some people relish that and they want to make that look like put the work into it, but I would keep it simple and keep it moving. I think, and he keeps it very consistent in his style. That's the nice thing. But he doesn't overload the backgrounds with like, you know, just stuff. That's nice. This is really cool. Nice jacket. Again, get good at drawing jackets. I'm telling you, it's so important. Sleeves, folds. I mean, you're gonna draw so much of this stuff that you really, really like. As much as you work on anatomy, you better know how to draw a collar on a jacket and this kind of stuff, or you're gonna be really, really in a awkward spot when you try to draw pages. Oh, it's nice. This is really good too. Wow, that's really good. Well, I hope that this is fun to check out. And if you haven't seen Gary's work, I would highly recommend it. I'll try to find some links to him online so that you can follow him and do a couple more pages, and then I gotta roll. Hopefully, people out there visited their local comic book store for Free Comic Book Day yesterday. I saw some pretty cool stuff. There was a few books that came my way. There was an X-Men or was a Wolverine issue that Das Pastores did. We were checking out. He's really really good. He worked for Humanoids, and they came and started doing American comics. But the guy's really really great. Oh man, that's nice. Whew, that anatomy is so cool. He draws a great Hulk. If you can find him, check out his Hulk issues. It's a very clean Hulk. Like he's kind of the pretty handsome Hulk. But yeah, Gary drew real well on those issues. Yeah, when you can draw this consistently, this solid, and if you can keep a schedule, I mean, you will get work for years and years and years. 'Cause this is what it's about. The level of consistency in his work is really something to take note of. Man, just everything looks solid. Okay, I think we're gonna end it here. All right, you all have a great day. Thank you for the recommendations. Again, we'll revisit Gary Frank on another video, and I'll cherry pick stuff that I think is really impressive that he did. And again, I'm not 100% sure who inked this, so if there was an inker, I apologize. I'll try to get the name and put it in the comment box if there is. And yeah, I will talk to you all later this week. I'm going to be working on my comic that I'm writing and drawing, and I'm kind of on a schedule finally. It wasn't my fault or my choice not to be, but things seem to be settling down slowly. Well, they are kind of settled down. There's a few things I got to take care of, but everything's going good. So, all right, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Bye.